Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
Hi, hi, hi. Oh, isn't that like a...
Hi. Hi.
I'm talking so fast now, I can't even... My haircut's been changed so many times, I don't even know where to find the comb now. I've changed my hairstyle so many times now. I'm going more with a regular cut. Did you have a regular cut when you were a kid?
As opposed to what? Like a mohawk?
I only had 2 or 3 choices.
Yeah.
The regular cut, and then the what I had most of my childhood was the crew cut.
I had the bushy Jew for most of my life.
You know what I don't like? I don't like
Most things is my experience.
What's that?
Most things.
Well, no, that's not nice. People think I'm grouchy or something. I don't like notifications after a while.
No.
Because everything becomes a notification.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So why don't you just get it the first time? If I something on the oh, sleepy, bad comedy makes me sleepy. I get so tired trying to get the joke. There's nothing funny, but I double up on the delivery and it fails.
Is that Beck doing Neil Young?
Oh man, look, I'm gonna imitate Neil Young. Can you hear me do it? I'm gonna make people think that I wrote that song. People think he wrote that song.
No, they don't. They don't think that.
You know what? People don't think is the problem. That's
right. Oh, what's happening?
I'm moving my coffee closer to me.
Ah, okay. And did you have a good birthday?
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Although I have to say, someone gave us a bottle of Dom Perignon.
Yeah.
What's that movie where it's Stephen King and the woman Kathy Bates clubs him over the feet? What's that called?
Misery. Right.
My favorite line in that movie is where what's his name? Ryan's song?
James Caan.
Yeah. So James Caan is planning a way to get back at her, right? He's planning a way to get back at her. He's got the plan in place. And she says, Kathy Bates, and he's just trying to, what's it called when you try and keep someone on the
stall?
Stall, right. So she goes, I got your favorite champagne, Dom Perignon. And then Ryan's song says, Dom Perignon it is.
Yeah.
To me, that's so fucking funny.
First of all, it's Brian's song, if you're going to call him that.
What did I say?
Ryan's song.
Well, because his name is Ryan. It's Ryan from Love Story, right?
No. What?
Are you sure he's not Ryan O'Neal from Love Story?
I'm pretty darn sure he's not.
Well, who would he be then if he's not that one?
He's in Brian's song, yes.
Oh, he died recently, but I loved him. James Caan. And you know how he died really badly? Godfather 1. Was it Godfather 1 he died?
Yes.
He was a hothead.
That was his problem. That's funny.
That would have been, I would not have been that. I would have been like Fredo, but more frightened and turning in people.
Right.
I knew it was you. What does he say? It was you, Fredo.
I knew it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart.
And then he kisses him. That's the thing I don't understand in the mafia.
Yeah.
Why the mixed messages?
There was no mixed message there.
But then it's sad because Fredo was out on the boat with the kid.
Right.
That movie's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't go out on the boat with the kid. The kid gets called away, and he goes out on the boat with the thug.
Oh, okay. He's talking about what he's going to be doing with the kid, right? Well, we're going to have so much fun.
They fished earlier to establish the fishing.
Yeah. It's a sad story, ultimately. I don't know why you're so pro-mafia. So I had Dom Perignon.
Because it makes sense, Andy, because the whole thing makes sense. People behave in a way that makes sense. With honor. I like this honor.
This is a good character for you to be on the show. With honor. So you're thinking, well, first of all, Fredo, very, very, not a careful snitch or whatever he's doing. Yeah, we were over at the Schmeckel Club yesterday. He mentions that he was over at the Schmeckel Club when he shouldn't have been at the Schmeckel Club.
Right.
You know what I'm referring to, right?
Sure. The Schmeckel Club.
I also love the way that movie introduced, like I'd never thought about Cuba much So I seen that.
And by the way, Andy, don't ever side against the podcast, okay?
Against the what?
Against the podcast. Don't ever side against the podcast with anybody. I saw you with Mo Green. I did see you with Andy Levy, or hear you with Andy Levy.
Oh, you're saying just going to do it?
No, I was just making more Godfather references.
Oh, yeah. To me, I'm scared of you, but not scared of you in a Italian way. I just feel like you could punch me.
I don't think you're going to.
Yeah, but I don't see, you don't have that vibe. I've worked with people.
It's not my go-to move.
I've worked with people who I thought.
Let me just say one thing, though. Keep my wife's name out of your mouth, okay?
Well, I always thought this guy might punch us out.
I can't see it. There it is. He was never a threat.
But he could get grouchy. I guess every man's a threat to me, right?
Well,
every man.
Well, and every man gets grouchy around you.
I'm trying to think of
let's not get into the habit of holding up names written on paper to the camera, okay?
What, you think it'll go on to the actual thing?
No, I just,
it's annoying.
It's annoying to everyone.
I think it's annoying that I did it again, and I've been warned before too.
By the way, I just extended my. I just signed an extension on my stand-up career for another 8 months or so.
You're going to Acme.
I am, but with Frank Conniff, we're going to co-headline. Frank Conniff.
Oh, this is so great.
Yes.
Now, I have to ask you this because I think I can ask you this. It used to be in the old days that Frank Conniff was very nice to Jimmy Dore because Jimmy Dore had been nice to him. But now Jimmy Dore has fallen out even with Frank Conniff.
Yes.
And then someone told me, young Alex, young Alex who works for the show?
Uh-huh.
With the show?
Yeah.
He said he had a falling out with Jimmy in 2016. And that just shows how old I'm getting.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was more recent.
I pretty much had a falling out with Jimmy in 2016 too.
Have you talked about this?
Yeah, we had a big fight on the other podcast about him voting for Jill Stein, and me going, "You don't fuck around with this Trump guy. This is not the time."
All right,
I'm a Jew who was raised to believe never again, and this is the closest we've ever gotten to the never again moment, Jimmy.
Well, here's the thing. If I was on a show with him in that kind of situation, I would just at one point have to say, well, you don't know anything about politics. You literally, there are some people you go, do you think that guy's interested in politics? Sure. Jimmy Dore knows nothing about politics. He knows that snark plus misinformation equals effective. Okay.
Well, yeah. And if you rail against anybody who is in an official position, regardless of their thing,
Yes. Oh, you're going to believe the government? Is that what you're going to do? His new thing, for those of people who are wondering, I'm sorry, why is this happening?
I don't know, because you keep paying attention to it.
It's my nephew saying that I should root for the Yankees tonight. And I'm afraid to tell him
you don't have
I
to.
can't.
You don't have to respond right now during the show.
No. That's what I'm doing. That would be rude. I want to say that I think I'm a better person than that because I was going to turn off my text tone.
Okay, good.
To none.
All right.
Okay, that's better, right?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever done something that horrible. Well, it's not horrible.
It wouldn't be horrible. It'd be pretty par for the LA course, really. But I just think. I just think you're better than that.
Oh, I'm better than that.
Oh, you're better than that. All right.
So I drank Dom Perignon, and I realized I love the taste. Oh my God, they make a nice champagne. They're not kidding around.
It's good.
It's delicious.
It is.
And then the buzz you start to get, I've always argued this, it's probably incorrect, but the buzz you start to get from champagne to me is much improved than, say, from a vodka drink. But I think that's wrong. I don't think it is true.
Well,
because sometimes I have a vodka drink, and you see, if I drink, I want to feel a buzz. I just have no desire to drink without feeling a buzz.
Yeah.
And of course, I never drink.
Right.
And then it always makes me tired. So I got so drunk. It was one bottle. We split one bottle, and then I couldn't go to sleep. And I realized, hey, you can't go to sleep when you're drinking. It's like I'm an old man, Josh. Yeah. What happened to me? I used to be able to party.
That's
actually
true. Are an old man.
Get your kicks on Route 66. I'm going to make, I don't drive 55. I don't take Route 60. I actually like the sound of 66.
Yeah, it's easy to remember, which is good for you.
Don't you start with your backhanded, I don't even think they're backhanded compliments. They're forehanded insults.
Yes.
I watched more of the Beatles. last night. So we're up to the third part, but we want to take it slowly. We don't want to be done because we're going to go back to the beginning again.
Well, then you should want to take it more quickly if you're going back again.
Yeah, but we always say we're going back and then we don't go. I wanted to watch The Sopranos. Yeah, but man, is that a good, it is amazing.
Well, the nice thing about the Beatles thing I found is you can once you've watched it through, you can put it on as more atmospheric stuff, and it's still pretty fun to have.
There's this part in the movie where it looks like he's trying to take some drugs out of his pocket, and then every time the camera catches him, he put John Lennon. Did you see that at all?
I think he was doing drugs. I think part of why he was so mellow for the whole thing was that he had started doing heroin at that point. Yeah.
So when he took it out of his back pocket, he wasn't going to shoot up heroin. Maybe he was smoking it or something.
No, I don't know. I don't know
what was in the back.
I mean, what's true is that Lennon was intensely aware of the cameras the whole time, more than anybody.
Oh, yes. Where did you read this backstory about?
Well, I did.
Just from reading the Beatles stuff?
What do you mean?
How do you know this? Like when you seem to know a lot of stuff behind the scenes of Let It Be and everything. How did you learn that? From reading books or magazine articles?
Absorbing lots of things over lots of years.
Oh, okay. So he was. But
I'm just saying, if you watch it, Lennon's the one. I mean, I'm a documentarian, so I am sort of extra aware of people's behavior on camera.
Yeah,
and how aware of the camera they are.
Oh yeah, he was definitely.
And he was playing to the camera. He was very hyper aware it was there.
Right.
Where it seemed more like the others were able to just sort of take it in stride.
But Ringo was just seemed depressed during the whole thing. He seemed a little depressed to me, but maybe he was just quiet.
Well, I think he was depressed because everyone was sort of irritated. And he was about to do a big fucking movie role in 3 weeks.
What was his movie role?
The Magic Christian with Peter Sellers, which is why Peter Sellers was hanging around.
Was that's why he was? But they treated Peter Sellers weirdly. Were they just joking with him?
Peter Sellers was a fucking weirdo.
I know he was weirdo, but when he came onto the set, they were like pretending they didn't know him or something.
No, they had him sit down and he just froze up he was intimidated by the whole thing. Clearly,
not Billy Preston though. Billy Preston was perfect.
Billy Preston was awesome. Yeah.
Too bad he had drug problems. What a great musician he was. Everybody has drug problems who goes into music.
I was glad he lived until I got to see him at the concert for George, at least.
That's not the way you look at someone's life.
No, it was a little self-centered, perhaps, but
still. But I was thinking, and you probably known this, so why even talk about it? If the Beatles hadn't broken up, then George Harrison would never have developed the way he developed. And then we would have missed all of that, All Things Must Pass. I mean, I don't think it's
I never thought it's a tragedy the Beatles broke up.
No, but I did because I was that age, and they were everything to me.
Yeah, well, it was a foregone conclusion when I started listening to them because they broke up before I was born.
You're 40 years younger than me, so once you look at it that way.
But I just feel that way about bands in general. It's like they have their time. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why it's amazing. If you look at the Rolling Stones and you say, the Rolling Stones stayed together for 70 years, right? I don't think that I could say it was, they had more. I don't know. I still like the Beatles. I still think the Beatles. Well, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
The thing is that, they've been, quote unquote brothers forever, but they haven't been friends for 40 years, Mick and Keith,
Right. Oh, is that true?
Yeah. Keith talks all sorts of shit about Mick all the time.
Oh my God. So it's like a classic.
It's like it's a marriage that they stayed together for the kids, and in this case, the kids are millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Well, then why was Bill? Why did Bill?
No, and I think they all
early
because he was done.
He was tired, right?
Yeah, you can understand wanting to be done after 30 years in a band.
Yeah, but I was wondering, did he feel bad when they continued on?
I think he kind of did. I think he kind of wanted back in at one point, but.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. You say you're friend. What are you thinking?
I didn't ask him when I sat next to him at the aforementioned concert for George.
Ooh, that was a great concert, right?
Yeah, that was good.
And George Harrison, his whole thing from All Things Must Pass, and I'll bring it even further to Traveling Wilburys, just a whole other form that was not there at that point. When they broke up.
How do you mean?
Well, when I look at George and he's relating, it doesn't seem like the same. It seems like he developed a lot more on his own, like in his by probably not having people breathing down his neck.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, almost all the songs on All Things Must Pass were written when he was a Beatle.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, then maybe what
was happening was that he had become a songwriter over the course of the Beatles, and that just wasn't the dynamic that the group had set up.
Right.
You know? And that was really clear in this movie that, I mean, I felt like George was incredibly pissed off and passive aggressive for most of the movie, you know?
Well, that's because Paul, here's the thing. Paul has a lot of great ideas, and he is the leader of the band in terms of being able to hear a lot of musical things.
Yeah.
But you just can't. Just what I saw between them would be like George bringing his songs in, and then Paul didn't say always say let's try like this. He was more like let's do it like this and let's do it like that. And it was weird. It was actually incredible to see them, come up with these songs. Songs that I really love even more now, like the two of us.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that I remember the thing that when that album came out. This is a new phase Beatle album. I think it was because it was Phil Spector. This is a new phase Beatle album. And so it was so funny because I just remember, and I remember all those sounds like Charles Autry and the Hoo-Hoos, when John's doing his thing.
Yes.
I Dig a Pygmy by Charles Hawtrey on the Deafy. Phase 1 in which Doris gets her oats.
Also, I didn't realize that John played some good leads.
Yeah, he was a great guitar player. He really was.
I love that. What was that song? What was the lead in that? He said that's why they stopped giving me leads after a while, with how we go crazy at the Get Back. He plays the lead on Get Back.
Right.
Okay, we're done with this. I'm so tired of it. And why? I mean, how's it helping me with the Beatles? I mean, how is there? They were handsome guys. Because you think about it, they were handsome guys. They were always shot to look beautiful. Or maybe because I was a young kid, I just thought they were the greatest looking things ever. But this was 16 millimeter. They didn't have makeup on. Right? Yeah,
but they were all like 27.
Yeah, but
it's
I guess
crazy.
that's true. I guess that's true. I guess they were really still young.
Yeah.
It's so weird with the Beatles that they spent so much time playing when people didn't, like in Germany and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think people would have liked it to have lasted 2 more years and but it just wasn't, it's not possible.
No.
And there was a lot of, I loved watching all of the politics. And I mean, all the guys like I've heard about, is it Michael Lindsay
Hogg?
Yeah, because he was parodied in the Spinal Tap movie, I think.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was he was, in his own movie, the original Let It Be, he wasn't much of a character, but in this one, he was a main character.
Right.
Like, he really was part of the tension in this whole thing.
Is the old one available, or has it been burned?
It's not available. I mean, you can see it, but it hasn't been commercially available for a long time. It never came out on DVD.
I just think I was a pretty lucky kid, because I got to take a lot of LSD, and then I got to watch a whole Beatles thing on LSD, and I got to watch a movie that was then released and then taken back. Is that what happened?
Well, it came out on VHS. I watched it a bunch of times as a kid.
Oh yeah, I saw it in the movie. I saw it in the campus movie theater.
Yeah.
And I loved it as a kid, but this is so much more amazing. Obviously,
this is a much fuller picture of what actually went on. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, sure. Did they ever get in trouble for putting that microphone in the room? Did anybody ever yell? Did they ever get found out for surreptitiously putting a microphone in the room when John and Paul were talking?
I don't know. Paul's seen the movie and he hasn't.
I thought you would indicate something else about that. You knew something about that or something.
No,
you told me before. You goes, "Oh yeah, that was a big scene as they put a mic in there." So I thought maybe there was fallout from that, but
I don't think so. I think they were aware that they were under surveillance in general.
Also, I loved the way Paul was describing to John the movie they'd made in India.
Yeah,
because it was like he would describe the scenes and you'd see it. So that never came out, really, probably, right? Or it didn't Let It Be.
Well, that was just home movie footage of when they were in India.
Right. With Cynthia. Jane Ash. That's why I don't understand things. Jane Asher was there. I thought they had broken up way early. I don't know. I have to get my history of the Beatles back together. Because I know Jane Asher dated Paul, but she was in India with them.
Yeah.
And so was Cynthia Lennon, and so was it Patty? I don't know. It wasn't Layla then.
No, it was, I don't know. I don't know if he had a lady with him.
All right. I've sucked all the thing out of this. I'm starting to get very, very, but just to be, just to complain to you, because I'm not someone who normally likes to complain, as you know. I really am getting, and I know I have therapy and I have people to talk to this about, but I am getting more and more upset about the election. And I know that it's all stuff that I know how to turn off and doesn't matter, but the fact that these CNN and MSNBC during the daytime are just celebrating, looks like the Republicans are going to win, and this John King on CNN, it's the worst show I've ever seen. Basically, it's Crossfire. And I know CNN's going to get worse, but I just want to say these people are partially responsible for the way that because they would, if you start saying a month out, the polls say the Republicans are going to win. The polls say the Republicans are going. It starts to create a force on its own. It's like they're definitely the fact that they both sided Trump. I mean, Trump won because they gave him all this. Anyway, I just think they're fucking evil. CNN, I know, is evil, but it's just so depressing to me that any of these people, like that Kara Lake, that she could win in Arizona for governor, just absolutely a horrible, terrible Trump person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's 100% in supervillain mode, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know.
Yeah, it's. I think I get my hopes up too much, is what it is. I get my hopes up because I really do feel like if we don't win this election, I think we might win the Senate. I don't even know. See, here's the thing. They get me depressed.
Yeah.
They get me depressed because I'm used to watching the news. So I watch the news and I go, well, they must know.
Yeah.
And they don't know. Especially since the last few years have been so unpredictable. So it'd be easy for me to go, yeah, the Republicans are going to win. Just because they're saying it, even though we don't know exactly what's going to happen. But it just infuriates me. I like to use that word. It's a good word.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about it because there's nothing to be done about it till the election, and I just am so scared about it. I don't know. And the other thing is like, it's not. I mean, Joe Biden's old. What are you going to do? He's old. You know he's old.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't people think logically? He put Ketanji Jackson on the Supreme Court. He's doing all the right things, but I don't think this country really understands about right and wrong. I mean, to me, it's
they
like,
don't. They understand about
me.
They understand about cartoons. You know, it's like everybody has to fit into this cartoon. And you know, Biden, while he's not an inspiring leader, you know, based on the cartoon,
right,
has been one of the bravest presidents.
Yes,
we've seen
ever. Yeah. And the fact that he is a little bit doddering or whatever it has nothing to do. I mean, yes, he's like your grandpa was funny and he's not as funny as he thought he was. But the guy has a soul. He wouldn't be doing all these things if he didn't believe in them. He wouldn't be doing the pot thing. He wouldn't be doing all of these things.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be and so it's like, this is what makes the Jimmy Dore people.
And he was out in front of Obama on gay marriage too. You know, I mean, he's been a guy who, when given the chance, he has tried to take actual steps forward in the world.
Right. And I had heard that, and of course, me talking about the black community is not a good thing, but I've heard among the black community that everybody really respected Biden the way he helped Obama. You know what I mean? He was seen very positively.
Yeah.
From that point of view. And so I don't think anybody else could have, you know, here's the thing that bothers me about everything. It's like, you know, it's like Sanders, you know, people, there's this image like, if only Sanders had won. I just don't think Sanders was that great. He wasn't that great a candidate. You know, and so he also was really pushed forward the thing of, oh, you're corrupt if you take money. He pushed that idea more of only is a little bit like Trump. Only I can save us. Right. Because Hillary took money for those speeches. Right. So.
No, I do not necessarily at all think that Bernie would have beaten Trump.
Yeah, and he did. And the other part of it is he didn't. He didn't beat Trump, and he didn't get the election. That's why I used to get so mad at like Mehdi Hassan. It's all in the past. But I used to get so mad at these people because they just care about their own careers. Is what I really think is the thing. But I don't know. It's just I'm just upset. So I'll just deal with it. I mean, you can't solve it.
I can't. I've tried. half-heartedly, admittedly.
Well, what would you say? Are you more, what's the word? Sanguine? Is that the right word? Sanguine? You're more expect this from the government so you don't get bent out of shape out of it as much.
Well, it's more of the, I can't control it sort of thing.
Well, that's true, and that's very healthy.
You know, I can send money to various candidates, you know, where I feel like it might help.
Yeah.
But beyond that, you know, and I can encourage people to vote. I mean, that's about all I can do, really.
Right. No, this isn't. We're not our show is not the linchpin.
You know, and nor do you know. I just feel like I almost feel like our problems are so much bigger than who's got the house.
True.
You know, that, you know, we've seen what happens in terms of gridlock, you know, when there's, you know, like Biden can stop a lot of shit from happening from the White House.
That's true. That's true.
And they aren't going to have an overwhelming majority in either house if they win.
That's true. Kevin, so maybe you're right.
So, you know, while it feels like the end of the world for sure, whenever these people make gains.
Yeah.
I also feel like, you know, our problems are bigger than that in this country.
Yeah. You know, the thing about it is, like, it's amazing to me because, like, if you read about Europe and they say, like, someone will go, oh, yeah, of course, growing up in Europe, you have a safety net. Most of the countries there have a safety net. The fact that we had never had, I got a little heart attack from it. The fact that we've never had a safety net. Right? Mr. Little, I'm coming, Elizabeth. The fact that we've had to fight, like, you know, it's like since Roosevelt, it's gone downhill. Roosevelt solved so many problems by realizing we're all in together. We have to have social programs. We have to have Social Security. These are all things that if we didn't have Social Security, what would we do? We would be worse. Be worse off. Yes. But all these other countries already went through this. They already realized you have to give a safety net. It just sounds like it's human. Right. It's human to not have people sing for their supper. You know? Right. And like this Rick Caruso guy, did you go to the fair this weekend?
Did I?
There's a fair near here.
The LA County Fair?
No, the
Sherman Oaks Fair, the street.
The Sherman Oaks Fair, and then they have.
We've played that before. Our band played that.
Really?
Yeah, years ago.
Oh, that's so cool. Was it fun?
Yeah, sure.
But everybody can contribute. So like there was a demo, like they have these big banners, but the biggest part of the banner is vote Rick Caruso. Like in other words, because he has more money. Yeah. You see, vote Rick Caruso. Has there ever been? I mean, I don't know what his game is. I don't know if he wants to just put homeless people in jail or what his thing is. But this is infuriating to me that after all these years, we don't realize that we have to do something about the homeless people and not throw them in a prison and not. It's like it's just terrible. I know. I lost my coherency.
Well, I don't think either of them has a winning master plan.
Who, Karen Bass or
Rick Caruso.
Well, but I don't know what the master. But you know, the other thing is this: in L.A., you've had like on AM radio, you've had these John and Ken, hideous KFI. There's so much anti-immigrant thing, and I've seen a couple of commercials that the GOP is running. It's really the gloves are off. Look at all these hordes.
Yes.
Of aliens. Look at the disgusting looking.
I saw a crazy one last night, and it was like paid for by People for Sanity.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. I think again, a lot of it has to do with thinking that we would be over this by now, and I don't know why I would think that history, the arc of justice. The arc of the universe bends towards justice. I kind of believe that, but it's taking too long.
Yeah, well, when you're talking about arcs and universes, you aren't talking short term.
No. But as bad as
it really is just like, holy shit, that's right. This whole America thing is a fucking experiment.
No, it's right. Yeah, right.
And humanity hasn't changed since 1,000 years ago, and so...
I think it's the illusion of watching the news or being part of the news or watching, like TV. They give you this false sense of, now, look, if there should be a nuclear thing, everybody get in the basement. I mean, there's a way that they're trying to talk soberly, rationally about something that's just insane.
Yeah.
And I think that's always like, I don't know what that voice is. Like, what's the voice that comes through history books when you read them? Or it's the politics comes down into the history books, you know?
History's written by the winners, Andy.
When I was in high school, and I was taught by teachers who were very anti-American foreign policy, and they were all people who had gotten out of the war.
Yeah.
You know, that's why they were teaching.
Yeah.
So no wonder it was more. We got some truth, a little truth there for a couple of years. Okay, I'm done with this thing. I need to ask you, because I haven't asked you, is how you're feeling.
I'm feeling okay. Thank you.
But you don't want to talk about it, or is it, or what?
I don't. I mean, I have nothing to report other than I'm healing well and feeling pretty good. You know?
Oh, that's good. That's good. So
there's been no physical epiphanies,
right?
But
immediately less pain, right?
Yeah. I mean, I have different kinds of pain, and one of the kinds of pain has been alleviated,
which is the bone spur pain.
Yes, which is leg nerve stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I've been very lucky, Josh. I've led a charmed life. I have all my limbs.
Yeah.
I'm ambulatory.
Uh-huh.
I enjoy sports. I like long walks on the beach.
Uh-huh. Ouch.
Short walks on the beach.
It was a fine weekend of baseball, however.
Oh my God, that was so enjoyable.
It was.
It was, and today's going to be a big game. The Yankees against the Guardians.
Yes.
Well, what did you love about the weekend?
I loved that there were upsets all over the place.
Padres.
And I'm a Dodger fan, but
I'm a Dodger fan too.
But it's still like, having been through 2 World Series in Minneapolis, I root for small market teams to have the experience.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
I've had the 2 World Series in Minneapolis, and I've had all the championships in LA, and it barely makes a ripple in LA when shit like that happens.
I know. It's like,
but when you're in a town like Minneapolis, it's like the Music
news.
Man came to town for a month. It's just like everybody wakes up and is excited. And
well, I was anti the Padres when they were playing the Mets.
Sure.
Now I'm pro the Padres.
I still can't get behind the Padres, and I think it might just be as simple as the Matt Brown. I think it might just be the color brown that keeps me from embracing
Oh yeah,
the Padres.
people don't like it's brown, and what's the other color? Yellow?
Yeah,
brown and mustard yellow.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't think it's the best choice.
But I can't root for the Astros, and I can't really root for the Phillies very hard.
Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Stadium, they booed Jill Biden or something. Philadelphia is terrible.
Santa Claus traditionally is the
right. Yeah, but this was Jill Biden was there yesterday.
Yeah,
at the Philadelphia game. I hate Philadelphia. I've really had bad experiences there. They don't like me. But then when I went to, it's just a lie. There's people nice there.
I've actually had good experiences in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I've had good. I just recently did have a good experience. So everything has to be a war with me, or I can't deal with it. I like. It seems like baseball's more exciting, but that's because I started rooting for the Mets. So I don't know if it's. But
playoff baseball is always good.
Yeah.
Just because.
What do you think of the new system?
Everyone's super excited about it.
Yes.
When they're there watching, so it makes you a little more into it.
Yeah, it's like I have this problem of feeling just like ridiculously feeling bad for the city. Like Seattle was so psyched up.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't come through.
Yeah, but they got psyched up. That's the thing.
They got psyched up. But let me. Do you know about the Houston thing that they cheated? I don't know where I was in my life that I didn't even. I must have been anti not watching baseball. But how far up did it go? Did it go up to the? Was Dusty Baker the coach then?
He was not.
Okay. And there were some Mets involved.
Dusty was brought in as the reformer, I think.
Yeah, and they had Carlos Beltran or somebody.
But they were stealing signs and signaling with banging on cans and shit.
And so like that's like could not be worse for a sport.
Yeah,
because then you never trust it again. Sometimes. Well, so I find it hard to root for them now.
Yeah, sure.
How come they didn't lose their world? You can't lose their World Series.
Well, there was talk of it.
Oh, there is.
There was.
Who'd they beat?
They beat the Dodgers.
Oh. This has happened to the Dodgers a lot. This is Ralph Branca stuff.
Sure. Let it go, Andy. Let it go.
No. Ralph Branca, no. I absolutely believe. Here's the thing that's amazing. It was like, oh, of course he hit a home run because he knew it was going to be an inside fastball. Get out of here. You ever see me try to hit?
All right. You can call the shot all you want.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry, fellas. I know what he's going to throw.
Yeah.
Were there not sliders when we were kids? Because there's sliders. Unbelievable. People love the sliders. Oh, did you hear Bob Costas and Ron Darling together?
I did a little bit. I actually heard Bob Costas use the phrase anything but, too.
That's right. I heard that, too. I immediately was going to call you or something. He goes, anything but.
A normally easy catch was anything but.
Anything but. But this woman online had a great thing about, she did like an impression of Bob Costas, like, and there's a nip in the air, which reminds us that we are all heading towards death, hurtling. And then the other person was, and then Ron Darling, I think he goes fastball. Because here's the thing, was like, Ron Darling could not have that great time he was having with Gary and the gang.
Yeah, no, Bob brought a little bit of a weird vibe to the whole thing.
And then it didn't seem like he was, like, to me, I don't think he's that warm, I think is what it is.
Well, the thing that he always had going for him was, like, youthfulness. And that's gone now. He sounds like an old man.
He was doing a riff like, he was trying to be funny, too, a couple times. Yeah, they had the old Mitzies or the Midgies or whatever the hell he was talking. Ron Darling was not going to give him the, I'm going to laugh at everything you say either.
No, I don't think he has a sense of humor is the problem.
He does when he's in the Mets. Oh, yeah. Bob doesn't.
Well, no, Bob does, but it's not.
Darling is funny with the Mets.
All right.
Maybe because it's Gary and Keith. Maybe I'm too into this thing. I can't wait for next year. Yeah, but I thought some people, though, it was interesting because on Twitter, it was like people didn't know who he was. And some people felt that Bob Costas was, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
He's so interested in but as you see how it just wears, it doesn't wear well.
Yeah.
His peak was later with Bob Costas, right?
I don't know. I think he was a good sports guy, but that was a good show.
I can see the ego in him.
Oh God, yeah,
is the problem.
Yeah.
And
but who's
not the ego? Vin Scully.
Vin Scully had plenty of ego.
He did?
Yes.
Anything but. Why do I have a memory?
There's a reason no one was in the booth with them.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I thought the Dodgers used to. Oh, that must be the local Dodgers thing where they would. Didn't they used to do a thing like 3 innings? They would do the radio.
Yeah, Vin would do radio and TV.
Man, so now I'm trying to get. I'm into the
here on the Dodgers radio network.
I'm into the football this year. I mean, there are some good things going on with that, except
like football games.
Well, not just the football games. It's also I like the storm and drang. I like the hype and hoopla that goes along with it.
Yeah.
No, because I'm telling you who I love. I have always loved, since I was a kid, the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, I was a Jets fan.
Sure.
But when the Buffalo Bills were, I've said this a million times, when they were in the 90s, and I rooted for them against the Giants because I wasn't a Giants fan.
Right.
And then Norwood missed a 41-year-old field goal. I couldn't believe the field goal was that old. So,
that only accounted for one of the 4 losses, by the way.
What's that?
Norwood.
One of the 4 losses?
Yes.
I know. Then they had Bubba.
You're putting four Super Bowl losses on one dude.
You can't put any of them on him. That's the wrong thing about sports. I could miss a 41-yarder. This guy could miss a 41-yarder. If you're depending on a 41-yarder to win the game, you can't necessarily say that you did all you could to win it.
Right. But then if you're depending on your first baseman to stop an easy routine ground ball.
Are you talking about Buckner?
Exactly. See?
Buckner, and people know this, he was 52 years old when he
was hurting. He was an ailing older player at the time.
The nice thing, though, is that I'm sure it didn't come back to bite him in the ass at all. People forgot it. They didn't dwell on it.
Yes.
I couldn't see. That's why I think I'm lucky that I'm just a fairly unsuccessful comedian, because I could not do. I'm joking. I know I'm a star, but I couldn't do these sports where it comes down to me, because I have the bad memories of a kid of losing the relay race for the entire team.
Yes,
by going inside.
No, I think you have a lot of the fact that you relate everything to your childhood is holding you back on a lot of levels. Really,
no. No, it isn't. My mommy would say this, and my daddy would say that. My mommy. I think that that's not true. I think that you're just not as in touch with your inner voices as I am.
I'm in touch with my inner voices.
Is that like a masturbation joke?
No.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Do you know on my off time, Josh? What I'll do is I will create new cotton candy scenes that I'm going to then introduce to you later on, which I haven't. It was like, but it's more like she. I have
like
her
the Cotton Candy Chronicles.
Yeah, it's like she comes in and I don't know, sis. I can't even do it because I can't do the voice, but just this kind of like that. The what she was going through was not just about the cotton candy grapes.
No, I really do feel like. Well, I think it was and it wasn't. I think she was probably counting on cotton candy grapes for more happiness than they could provide in her life. Yet, I still think they were a source of genuine joy to her.
But she didn't sound as much like Liza as you made her, right?
Well, the original thing was pretty close. That's what I'm here for, the cotton candy grapes.
Have we talked about how sad it is?
But it was a definite Broadway presentation.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It encompassed Liza, but it went further.
It didn't actually have jazz hands involved, but
this year they've all been, as far as I know, they did not come through on the cotton candy grapes. They weren't as good tasting.
Yeah. Well, I only tried one bag, so.
And you said you didn't like it, right?
Well, I liked them as grapes. They were just disappointing as cotton candy grapes.
I think that they went too far. Someone must have said, I tasted all cotton candy, and then they went, boom, that's it, cotton candy grape.
No. A true cotton candy grape gives you that caramelized hit of sugar that cotton candy provides. At their best, it's a miracle of horticulture.
You're not saying they're as good as jelly. What are the jelly beans called?
Jelly
Beanie Babies?
Jelly
No,
bellies?
the ones that. Yes, I mean when you bite into a pistachio thing, I mean it tastes like you're living in pistachio land.
Well, it's that kind of miracle. The buttered popcorn jelly bean is every bit the miracle as the cotton candy grape.
Just thinking about, like, I was watching the Kardashians.
But one is a triumph of artificial flavor, and the other is a triumph of crossbreeding.
Of actual cross-pollination, whatever you call it. I forgot what it was.
Jelly bellies? That was the last thing you brought to the table.
Oh, what I was going to say was this. I was watching the Kardashians last night.
Ouch.
I know, because we couldn't think of anything else, and they're on something.
On
they're
your
on
birthday.
Hulu.
On your birthday, you were watching the Kardashians.
And I'm watching
drinking Dom Perignon, watching the Kardashians.
Yeah,
Happy
it's not good.
birthday.
So they show Khloe's closet.
Yeah.
Khloe's kitchen. And the Kardashians think they invent this thing where they put all their cookies in a jar.
A cookie jar? A cookie jar?
Yes. But they don't have just one cookie jar. They've lined up.
It's like the break room at a tech office.
So here's my question. I didn't know until I had diabetes that sugar was so bad for me.
Yeah.
Because I have the gene. If you don't have the gene, I guess you could eat sugar. But now that I've seen the light,
you can beat the gene and give yourself diabetes without it.
Do you think? Are you in the school?
I think people
of
are more prone to diabetes, certainly, genetically. But I believe you can power through the genetic propensity and just get it yourself.
Well, they claim you can't technically get something that isn't in a gene. So the diabetes thing is in a gene. That's what they're claiming. I don't know, Josh. If I start arguing, I start realizing that the amount of information I have is so small.
Right.
and then my ability to get
But
angry.
you will go to the fucking wall for it.
And things I don't even understand. I don't even understand the process of what we're talking about. But the point is that I remember it didn't seem that long ago when I was telling you that sugar was great,
Right.
and comparing the different candies,
Right. I remember.
at the various world markets.
And I would call you things like sugar monkey.
Yeah. But now, I could not, if I was in the Kardashian house, I'd say, get this fucking crap out of here.
Yeah.
You're going to kill me with this stuff.
Well, you're not welcome there, first of all.
But when I see little
But when
kids
you have
like,
people who shop for you, it's a whole different ballgame.
that's true.
You can have ornamental snacks.
But
I find the only way I can not snack, but I can only do it by not buying snacks.
you can't have your snacks arrayed in jars.
You can if your house is a TV show.
That's true. They don't ever go in there. It's like if your house all year long just had Halloween candy and various things.
Yeah.
And I've been there.
But
there's
more people going through the Kardashian house than your apartment, for example.
That's true. I've been there, though. Like, I don't know if I told you this, but I used to be in a band with a guy who worked for Hershey's. And so he would give us all of the candy when it expired.
Oh, great.
So I must have eaten 150 crackles, 150 good. What's the other one with the almonds?
Almonds is Hershey's with almonds.
And then there's
Mr. Goodbar has peanuts.
Yes.
Special
yes.
Dark has its own little thing.
They're little small ones, though. These
I
are all
understand.
small
I'm
ones.
describing. There's the Crackle. There's the Special Dark. There's the Hershey with almonds, and there's Mr. Goodbar.
So let me tell you something. It is not as much fun as it seems like it would be. And you get tired of it very, very fast.
Yes.
And he got tired of it, I think, is why he kept handing it out to us.
Well, he was the Candyman. On base, Jim Candyman Johnson.
You're in a good mood today. You're full of piss and spit and piss and vinegar.
Yeah, I just don't want you to ask me about how I'm feeling, so I'm trying to put on a big show.
Oh, yeah. No. It's not odd at all that you are absolutely ridiculously private when it comes to normal.
Honestly, I just don't like talking about it with you.
All right.
Fair enough. Because you hear stuff. And you immediately act as if it's happening to you and react to it that way.
Yeah, it's all
so
narcissism.
It's pretty impossible for me to get through any kind of story without getting on the defensive.
Yeah, because all I have to keep saying, I'm glad I don't have to do that. I walk miles with no problem.
You just immediately imagine it happening to you and disregard what actually happened to me.
Yeah. You're making a case that's a little harsh.
I know, but I'm just trying to explain it.
Okay, well, that's right. You're going a little further. I don't want people to think I'm a monster of some time.
Well, you were attacking me for my privacy, and I really had to defend on that level.
You know what? There's just certain areas that you have told me since the beginning of the podcast, hands off. One of them is your crotch. Bing, 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 dink, bing. Bad jokes. You think something's funnier if I go horrible jokes at the end?
No, bad jokes is better.
Bad jokes.
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you though, Josh, the longer I don't do stand up, the longer I love stand up. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I don't like going to the improv.
I get you. I got you. I'm with you.
And the more I see these horrible people like your Jimmy Dores or your Joe Rogan, it's like, I wouldn't even go to the Comedy Store to do a benefit now. I wouldn't go there. I just think it's a totally poisoned place. It was never great. When I first went there to capture the late 70s, because I'd come out here in 78, I saw the Comedy Store during its main, it was, to me at that time was the greatest show ever.
The latter part of its heyday.
The latter part of its heyday is exactly right. And, this idea that it's now like that the Comedy Store is now like a Joe Rogan's home or whatever it is. They continue to celebrate. I think it's through Kennison too. They celebrate this fake edgy thing to me, Like, it's not great. Kennison, when he said move to the food, that was hilarious.
Right.
But it's not as hilarious that he was a raging drunk.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like the magic of the Comedy Store wasn't we got wasted over there. It was like the worst part of it was that they all lived in that house behind it.
Right.
You know? So I'm not going there, and I don't see myself going in the Improv to catch a variant for $10.
Well, Andy, go to the LA Times and look at the 60 best places to see stand-up in Los Angeles.
Is this true?
Yeah, this is about a month ago. We talked about this. 60. The 60 best places to see.
I don't even believe it.
The 60 best places to see stand-up in Los Angeles.
Number 52, the Ice House. Number 53, the Ice House Annex. I can't even imagine what these places, they made this up. Maybe there's not places where there is comedy. They're saying these would be good if there was comedy.
No, that's not the case.
The Mark Taper Forum, that would be nice.
I was completely ready to just kind of quietly step away, and then this Frank Conniff show came up. What was funny is this is how it happened. Is Frank had posted that he got kicked off of some show in Brooklyn last week.
Is that when he was also tweeting that he would never go back on Jimmy Dore and all these shows?
Yeah, all the people that have banned him. It was sort of, that was the context of it. And he tweeted about it, and so I get
What happened?
Well, he just told jokes that the person who ran the show didn't like.
He's the funniest man in the world, by the way.
He's very, very funny.
I love him as a stand-up.
I do too.
Yeah.
So Louis Lee calls me up. He saw Frank's tweet and goes, what did he do? I said, I don't know, but I bet it was funny. And he was like, is he still doing stand-up, blah, blah, blah. And so do you think he'd want to come to the club? Because the idea, for Louis, getting banned is fucking catnip to him. So,
yeah. Right.
So
that's great.
So he called up Frank, and booked Frank, and Frank was like, I could co-headline. I don't have a headline set together. And then Frank called me and said, do you want to co-headline with me? So.
That is so great. And that we're going full circle now. I told you the story many times of the time that I got bumped down from headliner to middle act, and then came to the condo. Frank, I was getting a one laugh in the crowd. It's fucking Frank Conniff.
Yes. And it's the greatest laugh in the world when it's coming from the back of the room.
But you know what's weird is that it does seem like, I made this joke before, that the only people who have a really advanced sense of humor go into comedy. I know it's like a little bit much, but the point is like, I would have thought there'd be in a place like Acme in Minnesota that the people, it's not like I was talking in Yiddish or something like that.
Right.
But it really convinced me.
But at that time, Acme hadn't established its identity at all yet.
It was rowdy. It was more rowdy.
Yeah.
Polite. It was polite though, but
basically
rowdy.
Polite. But I had the run-in with the biker gang and stuff. That whole story. So.
I don't remember that one. What happened?
That was just there was literally a biker gang in the audience, and it was also the show where my mother, grandmother, wife, and kid were at. And they were rowdy and heckling, and I won in front of my mom and my family.
Were you scared to leave?
No, they loved me by the end.
Oh, okay. You got them on your side. Yes. What you're trying to say.
Yes.
That's the best. But even when you get people who are normally...
That was the light bulb joke. What's your name? Light bulb. I'm guessing it's not because you had a great idea. That's why I won, right there.
That's a great thing. Oh, man. I forgot what I was going to say. That's the only time I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, you know what? I won't have it.
How's my sound?
Marvelous.
Why do I have a blue ghost? Is it because it's blown out behind me, or can you see me okay?
You're
or should
sitting
I
in a
change it?
dark room, completely backlit. So I thought you were going for anonymity. Actually,
I don't know when it first started. When I was 14, I started to like candy. By the time I was 17, I was hooked on candy. Why would I need to be obscured for this?
Diabetics Anonymous.
Yes. Andy D here.
I have to go to AA1C meeting.
I want to congratulate. I want to do a. But you're not. This doesn't bother you. You're saying, right?
It's okay. It's just
what can I do?
Just your face I'm missing. You could put some light in front of your face.
Hi.
Hi.
Hold on. Well, I have to go over there. Should I go over there?
It's up to you. I don't really care.
Yeah, let's go. Come on.
All right.
What are we doing, huh? If we can't make ourselves happy, who are we? Right?
Boom.
Is that better?
Well, I think we established the truth is you want to see you.
No, I don't think that's true. I don't think it's true. I think there's a lot of things going on with me. If I knew everything that was going on with me, I'd probably be healthier, as is.
I think we all would.
I'm working on my reaction. Ready?
Yeah.
I was with my acting teacher last night.
Okay.
So the thing is, my acting teacher said, "You're not a good actor. You're not a good actor, right?" He said to me. I don't know why he opens with that every time.
Right.
He goes, "Let's be honest."
Because he has to close with fight or fuck, fight or fuck.
I already forgot the bit. So he says, "You're not a good actor." He goes, "Look at me in the eye." I say, I am. He goes, "That's the problem." I have a wandering eye? No. Your mind is wandering. Have you heard my snore tribute to the Christmas?
No. You woke up.
Okay, yeah. So, what are we answering? We gonna answer the letter?
Now do Good King Wentz obnoxious.
Yeah, that's too hard. I can do Jingle Bell.
No, you can't. We've established that.
I can do the rhythm of Jingle Bells.
Until you laugh.
Now I don't like that light so much.
Oh my God. Boom.
Now it's 65 degrees downtown.
It just got dimmer. And by that, I mean you got back on camera.
I knew that was coming only because I'm stupid.
Let me just say, speaking of stupid.
Uh-oh.
That
Is this going to be your final comment on it?
No. That I'm really, really glad it's Friday. And you'll say, Josh, why? Did you have a hard week? No. It's just that every day since my surgery, I've thought it was Friday.
That's pretty good. That's good. But you know what today is? Friday.
I know. That's why I'm very, very happy to be right.
Does it make you
day.
happy, or does it make you like, where's the what's that movie? Where's the groundhog? When's that groundhog coming back?
You already said that.
What's the song? Is that the one that has the song? No, it's the Russian show that has the Russian baby doll show has the. He doesn't. They do have a song in that movie, right? That
I got you.
Him?
I got you, babe. Is the central music cue.
I haven't seen that since I saw it.
It's a really, really great movie. It really.
Yeah, is. I gotta see that again. I'm a big Bill Murray fan. I am the stupidest man, if not in the world, then in Sherman Oaks. Hoo hoo ha ha, hoo hoo ha ha, stupid people.
The thing about Bill Murray is it seems like he's a really great guy if you're super excited to meet him.
I know, that seems to be it. He likes two things. He likes it if you don't mind him coming up from behind and biting your ear slightly, going, "I'm a doggy," or something.
Right.
No one's ever. Or the other one he does is he claps his hands over their ears. He doesn't do that, I don't think. Not in today's.
I don't think he boxes people's ears. No, that's a lawsuit.
That would be bad. Guys, I need a napkin. I have to go get a tissue. Hold on.
How many times are you going to leave this show? How many times? Boom. Boom. Boom.
I gotta tell you, man, it's not as easy. People will say, Andy, is it hard to do a podcast? I go, it's not as easy as you think. It really is not. Like, for example, I can make a list of 5 things. Microphone, tissues, coffee, water.
Wow.
I like my mommy.
You're mopping your brow.
I am. I'm doing my Satchmo impression. No, I don't know why am I hot. Everything bothers me right now. I look bad. You look perfect, though.
I feel good.
Right now.
I feel great.
You know where that's from?
I don't know. Was it
Modern Romance? Modern Romance. How are you? How do I look? I feel great. It's in the when Bob Weinstein in the store.
Yeah.
He's so mean to him.
He is.
Yeah. Well, they take old tires and they put it in a box and they charge it. You want happiness? Get away from the box. Okay, stop it. This is what I do, and people. I don't think this is a good Albert Brooks fan thing that I have.
No,
nobody wants.
No, because you're making it look bad. Is what you're doing.
Even if I go toast, I'll have toast, dry, butter on the side. That's not even good.
No one remembers that.
Fidelity Savings. That's a laugh.
Just because you went Zapruder on the movie doesn't mean that everyone did.
Were you impressed that I think I identify his voice first more than any other human being on those BMW commercials.
Okay.
I just spilled Diet Sprite on my shirt. Here's how far I had to go up to drink.
Yeah, well.
I still couldn't negotiate it.
Your dumb little novelty mug doesn't exactly help. It's a cup with 2 rims.
No, that's not the thing. It's in the shape of a Chemex.
I got that, but it's a terrible shape for a glass.
It is, because what happens is
it stops. First of all, it stops, and then the dam breaks, and it hits your face.
Don't get me started when there's one piece of ice in the lower chamber. Don't get me started, because it causes all kinds of troubles. First of all, I think the main thing is don't get me started. Don't you think? More than anything else?
In my experience, that's been the key mistake.
Is Tuesday the day that they blow things out of the... Is that the day that they go for the trees big time in our neighborhood?
That is Gardener Day in our grid, yes. You know why?
Why?
Because Wednesday is garbage day. And a key tenet of gardeners is take the cans out.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. Hoo, 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 hoo. I have been watching the greatest channel in the world currently.
The one I turned you on to with Ed
Decades.
Sullivan? Yeah.
Decades.
Yeah.
Because it has Ed Sullivan, which I'm starting to get tired of very quickly.
It wears on you. You start to go, really? America swallowed this shit for 30 years?
Well, I saw a thing with, I remember the name Gwen Verdon, but I didn't.
She's on a lot. He loved the Gwen Verdon.
Oh, he did? He went to Gwen Verdon a lot.
He did, yes. Do you know who Gwen Verdon is?
Was she an actor too?
She was Bob Fosse's wife.
Let me finish. Was that Bob Fosse's wife?
And his muse, essentially, as well.
And if the movies, all that jazz is anything like him, he probably wasn't easy to live with.
I don't think he was. I do not think he was.
But she does this thing, and then I found out
that little dance with the 3 women that just goes on forever and ever and looks like middle-aged housewives doing a thing at the club. That one.
And I said, yes. I said to Susan, are they supposed to be dressed up? It looked like they had weird nurses' outfits on, but no.
It was the weirdest piece of dance I've ever seen on television,
and including a thing where you put as part of a dance move, you go boom with your head. They had one of those.
A lot of head snaps. That's a Fosse thing. There's a lot of yeah.
Well, Bob Fosse, I loved in all that jazz and his general. He was good.
But that wasn't Bob Fosse. That was Roy Scheider playing a fictionalized version of Bob
He was
Fosse.
so good as Bob Fosse. But Fosse did choreograph this thing you saw at Sullivan. I was like, he choreographed. What did he didn't get paid to choreograph? Who did he work with? Was there an orchestra? I don't get the whole thing. But the thing is, the music was live, though. That yes. I'm right.
Yes.
How could they? Who would be watching old American bandstands now? Nobody, right?
I think the cost to put those bandstands back on would be too prohibitive.
No, I mean just the kinescopes or something, or
no, I just mean the music rights that you'd have to pay to broadcast them.
So forget the
because it's wall to wall music.
Yes, yeah, but I just think the idea. All music in movies early had to be all piped. So in other words, the idea of there being a live presentation of music, I always thought whenever I would see a movie and there wasn't a live presentation of music, I would feel cheated because I could always tell.
How do you mean?
In other words, like Saturday Night Live, when they've a couple of times tried to cheat and have a pre-recorded thing, you expect Saturday Night Live to be live.
Is what you mean? Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
you said movies first of all, which threw me off.
Huh?
If I see a movie which doesn't have live music,
I'm not a good bridge partner. I'll tell you that right now. What the fuck was that? I said no. I don't like Trump. I thought that meant no Trump. No Trump. Wouldn't that be the worst? Bridge cheating. No Trump. What about that? No Trump now, right? Who's with me? Stupid. You can't cheat just by saying the name of the last. I almost said president. So how are you, young man? Is there anything you need to cover? Because here's a couple things I could do before we do the, what do we do today? The letters? Have you heard this in a while? And if you needed to hear it again, I thought maybe it'd be nice for have it. 65 degrees downtown Los Angeles. Coming up in a half hour, we're giving away some Rose Smith jingles. Those bad boys will be coming to town. September 12th, 2077, the Fabulous Forum. I just realized something about me. I have no, what's the word that helps make things great? Discipline. Like, I told you a long time ago that the only time I've tried to be funny on the podcast is things I prepared that I really worked on a lot.
Right.
Like, normally. I workshopped that for a month.
I know. You kept sending me the tapes.
So, I just wanted to say to you, Josh, before we begin, the letters. Did I already do the speech?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, Josh, I'd like to say, that was it. Yes. Would you like to start the letters, or did you have any other remarks that you'd like to make before we begin the reading part of the show?
No, I don't think I do.
Is it because of the stiff way that I'm introducing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to run a quality Andy time.
Also, I've had nothing to eat. I didn't want to have anything to eat. I wanted to stay hungry.
All right. So if you hear a ticking sound, you'll know what it is.
Did I say I during my therapy session the other week, she's nice to me. It's like if I'm hungry, she lets me eat and stuff.
Yeah.
She's not like you.
Right. Well.
So I'm in the therapy session, and I had turned the whole rig around because this thing is all based on trying to get sound not going into the bedroom.
I understand. You've explained that plenty of times.
Right. So I switched everything around. I switched it around again, and I said, and I'm talking to her. I said, I see some food. I see some food. Okay, Andy. You want to get the food? I saw some over there.
That's good.
Do you think it's like she charges me for children's therapy.
I think daycare rates are probably about right for you.
I did learn before I begin. I did learn something very sad about my childhood, but you can mock it.
You can mock it.
Josh, wait till I say it first.
Oh, okay.
When I was a young boy, I first went to all of us kids, except my sister, I think, went to nursery school before we went to kindergarten.
Sure.
And it almost didn't work for me because I was screaming so loud, so upset when my mother would leave.
Yeah.
So, I thought all these years, I love my mother that much?
Right. Imagine having separation anxiety from that.
So no, this is what Stephanie said. You were and this is true. I was afraid she wouldn't pick me up.
Right.
That's what it was.
Like, this is it.
And it's consistent with at 1 year of age or a year and a half. I mean, I was a year and a half of age before I was forming a lot of words, screaming and yelling at the outside the beauty parlor because I just left for a second. The kids, I leave for 1 second. The kids wailing like a schmendra. You're not supposed to remember something that young. So I think I had abandonment issues early on, but I never thought, I never thought till she said it. I was like, well, I guess my mom did okay if I didn't want to leave her to go to nursery school.
Then she disabused you of that notion.
Well,
no, Andy, stop. Stop right there.
Not her.
Your mother was not okay.
That's not only what I pay her for, if that's what you're asking me. Wouldn't that be terrible? Now, here's what I want from you. I want to talk about my mother, see? And I want to say terrible things about her, see?
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
Well, the manipulation actually worked because Pickles isn't here, and I'm worried about them now.
Yeah, you worried about her now? Pickles? Okay. Well, I didn't get that last joke you said. Did you? Was it a joke?
Was what a joke?
About Pickles.
There's no Pickles. That's what I'm worried about.
Oh, I thought you were making a joke about. Oh,
no, you're looking for Pickles, and it's not there.
Folks, before we begin today,
the end of a streak, ladies and gentlemen.
No, don't. I want you to turn this into a Dateline episode. I want you to call the local, and they go, "How long has it been since you haven't seen Pickles?"
I think we already know that Buddy Sorrell is the prime suspect in any crime like this.
Buddy Sorrell, Mr. Jokey, but then you turn your back, he's poisoning you with mushrooms. And his second wife, you know how his second wife died?
With relish?
She wouldn't eat the mushrooms.
Ah, right.
Oh wait, how did I lose this now? Okay, no, I wanted to go, okay, lately, okay, oh God. You're going to have to start because I got lost.
Okay, Don't Call Me Boopsy says, do you think rubber turkeys will ever catch on? We have chickens and ducks. Why not turkeys? Not a bit.
It's not a bit.
It's not a bit. Straight up yes or no question.
I would say, why aren't there or should there? What's the question? Yes, there should be.
Do you think they
yes,
will
there
ever catch
be?
on? I think they have their one day a year that you could use a good rubber turkey gag, and it would have to be a pretty convincing.
I don't think it'll ever catch it. You know, because people like things that are simple. They think a rubber chicken's funny. They've already established as a rubber chicken's funny. They don't want to go.
And I find the balloon turkey is a better gag because it flies around the room when you carve into it.
Dan Marsh says, "Hey guys, now that you're no longer in clubs, do you play to the back of the kitchen?" I like that. Hey, this guy? This guy knows what I'm talking about. Honey, why is there an extra person in the house?
Honey, why are you shining that flashlight at me?
Honey, why are you having sex with the mailman? My humor is very bad.
It's not
low level.
It's not
low level.
It's not honed right now.
It's not exactly what you would call funny. What you're saying now,
right?
And I don't work on this stuff. Just try something new.
I like how this glass is like a little adventure every sip.
Duckman, I'm going to go. If you don't pick it up, I'm going right ahead. I'm not even going to care anymore.
Steamroll me. Go ahead.
Duckman says, is Andy still trying to get through Get Back? It reminds me of that famous quote. So Kermit, is Animal the best drummer in the world? Is this from the what's the name of that show? The Muppets? Yeah. So Kermit. Is this the way Animal talks? Is it Kermit talking?
You don't need to do a voice. You don't need to do it.
So Kermit, is Animal the best drummer in the world? Animal isn't even the best drummer in the Muppets. I don't understand any inside Muppets material. Yeah. You'll have to take this over.
It's a reference to the Beatles quote. Ringo isn't even the best drummer in the Beatles.
Who said? Was that?
I think that was Lennon at one point.
Oh. Do you think Ringo in real life got sensitive by it was sensitive?
I think Ringo was genuinely sensitive the whole time.
About his playing?
That's why by Get Back he was just shut down and waiting to do his movie with Peter Sellers.
Right.
Eastside 76 says, they say when you lose one of your senses, the others become heightened. I'm considering blinding or making myself deaf in hopes that my sense of humor becomes a little tighter. Peace out, Girl Scout.
Well, I will not be picking up the peace out, Girl Scout chant, even if it gets popular.
No.
Cancel the quinceanera.
First of all, I don't think you can refer to a sense of humor as becoming tighter. I think that's what your drumming is tighter.
All right.
You get the riffs down in your drumming.
All right.
BD West says, my vote for tweet of the 22 baseball season is, I could snap out of a medically induced coma to root against the Yankees. Andy Kindler. That's a good one.
That's not a bad one.
It's not bad. I will argue that all of these jokes, I am basically moving around things I've been doing since I was 16. I know that joke very well.
There was no need to lift the curtain like that.
No, you saw already? Wait, yeah. This is like after the episode, stay tuned for someone talking obviously about all the things you saw in the episode.
Welcome to Tweet Notes. Tweet Bahara.
Wait, before you do Tweet Bahara,
sure.
I gotta say, that's where I started watching The Odd Couple again on Decades. Oh my God, I love it. I know I've seen them a million times, but they're so great.
They're good.
Okay. Go. Sorry.
Tweet Bahara. Tweet to Tweet Bahara.
Tweet.
I just realized that if I ever met M. Leadsom in person, she would have a British accent. Wait, what?
What?
I did.
Wait,
I met M. Leadsom via Zoom or something like it a few weeks ago, doing a Q&A for her drama students.
Oh, was that fun?
And she did it. It was in fact. I knew she had a British accent. I always imagined her as such, but I got to nail down the accent now.
You do her accent?
I didn't nail it down as an impression. I just now can put an accurate accent to her.
So was this for her class she teaches?
Yes.
Wasn't that fun?
It was a delight. Talking about me? Come on, you know how I love that.
I think I know M more than everybody here because I've spent almost a week with her.
That's
in
fantastic.
England, London.
That's great. You win.
Yes, and with other fabulous personalities that you don't normally see here, way before the pandemic, but still during the time period where I bombed in England. Tweet. Tweet Bahara says, the cleanest we'd be all day is right after turning off the shower water. Immediately, the bacteria and other microorganisms recover us and continue to deteriorate and destroy our rotting meat suits. Happy Halloween. Is there a first part of this that's more positive?
There's not. There's a whole other different tweet about M. Leadsom's accent. That's about the only thing that lightens it.
I bet we could have a great talk, Tweet and I, about bacteria and from an OCD standpoint.
I think you could. Maybe Purell could sponsor it.
You know, Purell to me, I think is now is an old reference, right? Hey, why don't you get Purell?
Now that the pandemic has waned a bit, you can get Purell again, and I gotta say, they're still the best. I always believed it before the pandemic, and I started to accept a certain substitute, but you go back, and they're still the best.
So you're saying that forget the imitators?
Forget the imitators.
What do you think is so great about Purell? Is it more... See, it's not me doing jingle bells as I'm snoring to death.
You have sleep hacknea now.
You know, the thing that bothers me is that people say I never hear your jokes. I heard that.
You did hear that.
Huh?
Jason nearly...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no,
Wait, did you miss the other person?
No, you go.
You don't have Dagobert?
You go with Dagobert. I do.
Dagobert of Tacoma says, Andy was a bartender at Denny's. Now I really wish I had a time machine. Did you get shift meals? Moons over my hammy? This was back in the day. This predates Moons over my hammy. This was back in the day where you had just the classic Denny's menu, your Super Bird. And it was called the Amigo Room, and it was a lounge. And I was the bartender where people had a lot of the margarita drinks. Oh, another frozen margarita? Wonderful. And then they could order from the Denny's menu into the place, and I could have anything I wanted off the Denny's menu, which got old very quickly.
It really does, as you learned as a comic.
So I can... I still find that joke a decent joke for a new comic, but I keep going back to it.
What's that?
Well, that one of my first bits was, like I read the comment card in the Denny's, Was the outside of the building attractive and appealing? Yeah, drew me in like a magnet.
Huh.
You know what? Maybe this wasn't one of my first good bits. Maybe this was the first time I had used a reference.
It was a reference to a magnet?
Go, save me from this. You were doing it before. Maybe Jason has something to say.
All right. Jason, nearly killed by a window parton, says, and there's a story in there. People often say they'd like Morgan Freeman to be the person to narrate their life. Who would you, bad hombres, want to narrate your lives? I want the great John Huston myself.
Well, of course. I want the great John Huston to say to me, Mr. Kindler. I mixed them up. I mixed them up with who?
I don't know.
With the paper chase guy.
Oh, John Houseman.
I wanted it to be either John Houseman or John Huston is my sister, the thing, my mother, the other lady. Bing, bang, boom, bang, boom.
Yeah. I want Tiny Tim. God rest his soul.
Why would you like that? Just because it would be a different thing?
Yeah.
That's a good
I
point.
want the job, actually.
Q-Mock says, Josh, thanks for taking... Q-Mock says, Josh, thanks for talking about your back surgery in the podcast. I know it was worrying, uncomfortable, and generally unpleasant. And the back surgery can't have been nice either. What do non-civilians call that structure of joke?
A telegraph?
No, I would say...
The switcheroo, I think a lot of people would call it.
So it's a little bit like...
A zag?
Right, so it's a little bit like I went down to City Hall today and there was this guy screaming like an idiot, and that was the mayor.
A little bit like that.
But is there a name for that? No.
No, we don't name things, really.
Right. Good point.
Tag, we'll say sometimes. That's a tag.
Yeah, good point. Hey, maybe you think you're so great, but I think you're a piece of... Okay, just go ahead. This is the guy who's planned to sabotage his relationships.
I don't know what that was even, really.
It was bad. But I won't do it again. How about that?
Please don't. Not for the not being offended. I'm just confused. I'm so happy it's Friday, and I think it's Friday that I want to live. I want to dine out on that all day. Peanut says, it's getting close to Halloween now, so a spooky question for you. Would you rather be booed by a heckler on stage or booed by a ghost in a haunted house? In this scenario, ghosts are very real and scary, and Andy still does live shows. Love you. Or love yas.
Heckler. I'll go with heckler. I don't want any otherworldly stuff happening to me. So I would go with a heckler any day over a ghost in a haunted house.
Yeah. Plus, being booed by a heckler really isn't that scary. Especially if you're being booed by a heckler and not by a room full of people. Like if a heckler boos, you got something to work with.
Ooh. I want to thank, again, Peanut, for bringing a lot of times people won't, near a holiday, they won't bring up holiday-themed things. We love it here at the show. Dylan Thomas, can you believe this? Josh is Dylan Thomas. Hey, Josh.
Do not go gently into that question.
Hey, hey, Josh. It's the 100-year anniversary of The Wasteland, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. I used to
100 years of freshman English students wanting to blow their fucking head off.
Oh, it's true. It's true. And what was my first question? What is it with the anti-Semitism I hear with Ezra Pound and T.S. Eliot?
Why won't he just write about cats?
Dylan Thomas says, hey, Josh, it's that time of year in Minnesota when any mention of Halloween prompts. I can't read.
Wow, you're not a reader.
I'm not a reader. Should I try it again?
Maybe we need to start doing questions on tape.
Oh, I hurt. Hey, Josh, it's that time of year in Minnesota when any mention of Halloween prompts reminiscing about the 91 blizzard. I was 10 and went trick-or-treating with a pal whose toilet paper mommy costume.
Mommy, not mommy.
Oh, that really was a terrible idea. Toilet paper mommy. No, mommy costume disintegrated almost immediately. How about you? I think this person's adding words like disintegrated just to test me.
This was I remember the Halloween blizzard quite well. Actually, this was a couple months before I moved to LA, and I think it probably helped me go. I'm moving to fucking LA. But what happened? I remember that day because it was when it was lightly snowing. I had driven to East St. Paul, the far side of St. Paul, from Minneapolis, to buy pot.
Oh my God.
From another comic. And as I was sitting there getting the pot, the snow started to come down, and it took me 3.5 hours to get back home from buying pot.
Oh, were you scared at all, or just annoyed, or having fun?
I was just annoyed. It was not,
and not like, well, I'll have some time to smoke in traffic.
No, I wasn't.
How good was that pot compared to the pot in the stores right now?
It was a disgrace compared to the pot we have in stores now.
Wow. So, but you weren't scared.
No,
right?
I wasn't scared at all. It was just like the freeway was just stopped.
And that's the thing, as I've told you a million times, that bothers me about having to have grown up in Minneapolis. In Queens, it happened rarely, but we knew the schools would close.
Yeah.
But you had to go.
We were pretty sure they wouldn't.
That's just terrible. That's not nice to kids.
No.
Very upset about it on behalf of myself.
I bet they're looser now.
That's true. What do you mean? Closing them early?
Yeah.
Well, they want the money. My sister, who's a teacher, said they want the money from the city.
Yeah, you lose money if you close if you don't have students.
And I said, well, what about the kids who
But there's no longer an
heads?
expectation of kids being tough like there was when we were.
You know what these days, Josh? They get an award just for saying, can I have an award? That's what they get. Everyone's a winner.
Just for participating in the discussion.
That's right. And also, today, the winner of the actual thing, they get to be pelted with tomatoes because everything's changed. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Stephen L. Yates says, Josh, when making a film, do you ever truly finish, or do you just run out of time/money? I enjoyed Who Do You Want Me to Be, and I Need You to Kill very much.
I did too.
No, I think you finish. You know, there's always things you can pick at, but that doesn't mean they aren't finished. You know, I'm not one of those people who feels like, like Who Do You Want Me to Be? I felt like it was finished for years before I was able to put it out. It was
right.
You know, I made changes along the way, but some of them were practical, and some of them were like, oh, I can make this better, and I still can based on where I am in the process. But
yeah, you were not sitting on it. You wanted to get it out there.
Right, and then I added the Stevie, Little Steven thing.
That was a last-second decision that worked out, I think, right?
I think it did. Yeah, I got a joke in, which makes me happy.
Yeah, and who doesn't want to hear from him anyway? I like him.
Right.
Is this going to help with me with Stephen Van Zandt?
It might.
Okay. Stephen Yelton Yates is back. And have you thought about releasing recorded performances from your early years if they exist? Fetterman did this a year or two ago. I'm wearing out my copy of Hence the Humor. Stephen, you're bringing up something that is very important for me to say, that I am going to do another album. That's the decision I'm going to make. I'm going to make another album, which just means,
purely for the sound scan.
Yeah, that's actually the truth, but you don't fucking have to tell them. I made so much money when that Hence the Humor came out, and fuck these people who didn't believe in me back then. And I'll come out with another one, and it'll make twice the sound, exchange money, and then people will be sorry.
Dan Marsh says, Josh, how much of a normal Thought Spiral episode gets left on the cutting room floor? How about one where Woody Allen gets mentioned? More in the latter case. Not a ton, really. You know, it's a lot of it is taking out 2-second pauses and sometimes overlapping dialogue if one of us is saying something worthwhile or whatever. But it's not a large percentage that ends up going, as you can tell by what's left in. It's not that much discretion going on, but
I think
it's just time consuming, really, more than it is time removing.
That's, I think, the annoying part is that you probably said to yourself, oh, well, taking out them every week. And with my, not just my annoying pauses, but pauses, it's gotta get old sometimes. Except recently, must be a pleasure.
It's all a delight.
Richard Cole says, angry Bob Dylan stopped a show last week to scold concert goers who were taking his picture. What's up with that, Bob? Is that really true?
Yeah, it's true.
What did you do? What did that happen?
They were taking pictures during my show.
That's what they do during a show. It's a rock concert.
What am I, here to entertain them?
Yeah, kind of you are.
What am I, some sort of minstrel to amuse them?
No, Bob.
Also, it steals your soul.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know you had religious reasons for it.
It steals your soul.
Were you just in a bad mood, or was it just like, this is over?
I can't tell anymore.
Do you get excited for every show?
Somewhere.
Why are you less angry with me right now? Thank you, by the way. I love you, by the way. Big fan. Thank you. I'm a big fan. And thanks for being nice for a change.
Wow, I feel so affirmed.
Talk about you're dying. The character's dying. That's how you're getting out of it. Johnny Whoop says, Josh and Andy, good day. I was following this person on Twitter and really enjoyed it. I learned in passing that they are a trans person. I didn't think twice. Fair to say I'm a pretty good member of the human race. I think you are a good member.
Way to go, Johnny Whoops.
I think you are. I think this is a sarcastically drenched letter which mocks people who think it's such a big deal that, what am I going to do? My pronoun? Oh, what about my pronouns I have to worry about? Yeah, so it's always been a phony issue. And I think that's the point you're making. Am I right about that?
Halpin Frazier says, hello, guys. Question each, if I may. Andy, have you checked your zip code with Jimmy Walker and William Devane yet? Josh, I hear you can tell a man from Minnesota, but you can't tell him much.
I don't understand that Jimmy Walker and William Devane thing. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, check your zip code.
91.
Even if you called last year to check your zip code, Andy, you can call again to check your zip code.
And Jimmy...
And see if you have money!
Okay, he threw me off. I have not seen William Devane in a commercial for years, right? Isn't he the guy who did Kennedy back in the 60s?
Well, Kennedy was back in the 60s. William Devane wasn't.
I see the Dynamite guy, and I see Joe Namath really recently.
But you couldn't deduce it from Jimmy Walker? Is there like such a wide range of Jimmy Walker product out there that you couldn't
I think
sort
I'm
it
stupid.
out?
I just think I'm stupid. That's
okay.
because I'm stupid.
Okay, good.
That's the only reason, because I'm my stupidity.
Right.
I couldn't even get the connection.
Gotcha.
Fuck you. No, fuck you. No, fuck you.
Walt Nauta.
Stop it, voices in my head.
I'm just going to let you keep playing with yourself. Walt Nauta says, I think I like your show because you never had a boss. My boss is a piece of work.
Wow. I also like Walt Nauta. It reminds me of I Want a Little Walnutto. So it's got a lot of that thing, too.
Uh-huh. I've had a lot of bosses, actually, Walt. I know I seem like a free agent spirit, but a lot of bosses.
Do you think people who've heard the song, here's the new boss, same as the old boss, and then they think that that's a revelation, and then they go back to their job and think, well, at least I have a Who song under my belt. Please, I don't know where I'm going. Christopher Citro says,
he won't get through the bit.
He won't get through the bit. Christopher Citro says, I have liquid. Why is my voice so dry?
I don't know. You've switched mugs now, too. That was like a magic trick.
It's iced coffee. Yeah, that's right. That is a magic trick. If magic tricks were, I could do the trick over here and then show it to you.
Iced coffee and Diet Sprite is what you're going with?
The Diet Sprite was just left over from last night.
Oh, God.
Not on a, no. It was in the freeze. It was in the kitchen. It was in the refrigerator in a can.
All right.
And I thought, oh, that'll be nice.
All right.
I'm very scared that I'm going to not have enough liquid, or I'm going to get so hungry.
Yeah.
That's my other thing.
Hang in there, Kurt. We're almost through.
Christopher Citro says, guys, tomorrow's my 50th birthday. Apparently, any words of encouragement or condolence? I'm going to leave this to the man on the show who was most recently 50, Mr. Josh Elvis.
Here's my words of encouragement. Happy birthday! That's all I got, really. No, it doesn't matter. It's better to let the fucking blade fall. If you've been, the 50th birthday is coming up, so you've been thinking about this for a while. So just be glad it's over and know that 51 feels way better than 50.
I don't agree with him. You know what? 50 is the new 40, first of all. So why wouldn't you I would work on your resume.
Well, I guess it just depends if you're happy, Andy.
Oh. Christopher, I wish you the best. I have shoes older than 50 because things haven't gone well for me. That's a cameo joke I'm happy to do. I wrote it 25 years ago, and I do it every week on Cameo. What? None of it.
I love that there's like a new category of cameo hack.
Walt Nutter is back again. I want to thank you for your show on my earphones. My job is more and more stressful each minute, it seems, but listening to you two makes me laugh. Maybe because you guys never had a boss. Something's going on specifically at work, right? Again,
let's go back to the ticking time bomb sound.
Walt, don't do anything without consulting somebody first. And don't go to the post office and consult with them, because those people... Take it away, Jack. Take it away.
Berry Lime Cherry Wine says, eat your damn broccoli or you're not getting any ice cream for a month. I'll sit here and wait. What?
Ah! You dog, you Berry Lime. You did it again. You dog. Berry Lime Cherry Wine is back again. Can you boys do a drunk show? I would
I don't know.
I think the problem would be I would just get sleepy very quickly.
Yeah, maybe like a drunk 20 minutes.
Yeah, because I like on the way to get drunk.
All right.
But then it gets old when I start to go, wait, Howie? I'm a drunk man.
Chris Brown says, Andy, Jelvis, love the show. Love you guys. What comic that you admire were you most disappointed with when you met them? Not necessarily because they were rude, rather just boring or lame.
Well, that's a good one.
Wow. Gilbert was pretty goddamn low-key in person at a club.
Because he was generally... Is that true?
He seemed sort of afraid of his surroundings, really, mostly.
So when he's not on, you could see more of the anxiety and fear.
Yes.
I've worked with... Bobby Collins, at the time, I thought it was rude when he asked me to get him a joint, and then I said, "Yeah, I got him the joint."
But is it good?
Yes, thank you. You know what's good about me, though, Josh? I don't think a lot of people can't get their grudges out of their mind. Right. I'm somebody who can't remember the grudges.
Right. No.
Bandicoot B. Oh, sorry, you were gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
Bandicoot B says, "Boring question this week, but I'm curious. Do you guys have a preferred method of us listening? I have a Spotify and Stitcher subscription and was wondering if any listening option is more helpful than others. Already a coffee buyer, which all TSers should be, if able." Well, thank you, Bandicoot B, for doing that. I will say, before I turn it over to Josh, I don't know of a specific... I just go through the podcast on Apple. I don't know that we offer anything.
I don't think there's nothing that benefits us enough so that we want you to be inconvenienced by it.
Oh, I see. Yes. Every time you go on Spotify, I get 3 cents. But thank you for asking that, and thank you for bringing up. Well, how do they buy a coffee if they want?
But you could go to iTunes and leave us a nice review and 5 stars. That helps raise profile a bit.
Good point.
But thank you for the coffee buying. And thank you to everybody who buys us coffees. It's a surprise and a delight every time.
I'm surprised by it. And then this Josh keeps going, "Oh, my new bookkeeper is dead." What? I said, my new bookkeeper is dead. What does that have to do? I can't do the books. Are you hiding a lot of income from me? No. End scene. Take it away, Pam Lowy.
Pam Lowy, or Lowy, says, good morning, fellas. Long time / first time. I heard Andy Kindler reference OCD / cars / harm and an interest in hearing more as a former at IOCDF staffer. Let's highlight that.
Wow, I didn't even know that was a thing.
International OCD Foundation.
I'm for some reason I'm following them. You know who follows them? Howie Mandel. I'm not joking.
Just keeps going, you already followed us. You already followed us. You already followed us.
I was following them already? I think let me make sure, okay?
Uh-huh.
I was already following them already.
Huh.
Okay.
Andy, did you follow the IOCDF?
What? I told you maybe I didn't. Oh, I was following them already.
Ah.
Are you proud of me?
She included a clip of Jeff Bell talking about something in this area, but I can't really include the clip on our show.
I will. Jeff Bell is a KCBS news anchor, author, and mental health advocate. That's cool. I will watch that. But he looks too confident. I don't want anybody who's more confident than me. That doesn't sound healthy.
Ooh, that's a low. That's a low bar.
Ooh. John Dunbar says, will Andy be a contestant on this new season of Celebrity Jeopardy? I never would be. I'm not a big enough celebrity. I think everyone knows that. But I am personal friends.
Yeah, it's your celebrity that's deficient.
Go on to the next question, please.
Greg Kelly says, hey guys, I'm in Chicago with my son doing touristy things, and I thought I saw James Mason checking out the 727 that is suspended from the ceiling of the Museum of Science and Industry yesterday. He was wearing a circa 1993 Jordan jersey, so I wasn't positive.
Oh, Greg, did anybody say, please send us more complicated, not ad-lib, impression suggestions? It's the cotton candy lady, but now she's in Peru and she's walking up Machu Picchu. Take it.
But suffice it to say, whenever I'm in the Windy City, I always represent for the goat.
I'm so sick of him. Maybe he wasn't so great, Jordan. Did you ever think of that?
I thought you meant James Mason. He was the goat, Andy. He was the goat.
Yeah, but Scottie Pippen helped.
Goats have helpers.
So Seth Dick the Third says,
you know what they say, you can't goat it alone.
Wow. Oh, you know what? The doctor says I have it. Whatever causes me to laugh like an idiot. Seth Dick the Third says, not a closer per se, but I'm seeing a Bowery Boys movie for the first time, and all I know is Adam Sandler better send. There was a misspelling.
He really did. He blew it, not you.
Not a closer per se.
Not you, Andy. Shitty crowd.
Right. First time, all I know is Adam Sandler better send flowers to their graves. They're playing college football, and it's funny for its time, I guess. But are you talking about the Bowery Boys? Why would you be watching a Bowery Boys movie for the first time?
Because there's always a first time.
I don't even think
you can't get to watching it over and over without a first time.
Well, the only thing you can watch that they did as a movie was Dead End. Everything else are just bits that they, over the years, changed different ways that they were distributing it, right?
I don't know.
All right. Well, I've done my work on it.
Yo 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 Yoshi. Yo Yoshi Yamamoto. Oh, Andy, I spent the last 2 years hyping up these young players on the New York Jets, and they're finally worth watching. Have you been keeping up with them?
First of all, Yoshi, I'm very excited about this. I don't know enough about them. I got very familiar with the Mets, and then they left me. I'm still caught in the ridiculous thing of not being able. I don't have a dish, so I can't know where the Jet games are going to be on, and I don't want to go to a bar to watch the Jet games. When can we watch the Jet games? Not just on satellite, Josh. And I know you could tell me Amazon Prime has it, but nobody has every week I can watch the Jets regardless.
Okay.
And if anybody does, no, you wait, Josh. I need it, and I need it bad, and I need it now. Josh, can you please take it away and don't hang up on me?
All right. If you'd like to support our show, go to buymeacoffee.com and buy us a coffee. Or also support our other endeavors. My films, I Need You to Kill, and Michael Day Bar, Who Do You Want Me to Be? My album, Chunks. My Cinematic Titanic box set. You could go with Andy's numerous albums. Andy wants to hang up, but he can't. So let's promote his album. I'm going to promote Andy's album.
Here I go.
Why would you?
And that was the mayor.